So I don't usually do reaction videos on this channel, but for some reason, a trick of fate perhaps, YouTube recommended me a MGTOW video. I don't know why. Um, I don't think trans woman is the right audience for the MGTOW movement. Just saying. Um, but it just looks so stupid that I have to react to this. I've watched like a couple minutes of it at the beginning, but I haven't seen most of it, so most of my reactions will be live. Um, it's from the YouTube channel Bachelor Philosopher. Already a red flag. Anybody who goes around, oh yeah, I'm a philosopher, unless you're like um, actually an academic philosopher, or unless like you were born like 1,000 years ago and like you earned that title for some like monumental book or something. Don't call yourself a philosopher. You're embarrassing yourself. Just saying. Um, I'm a grad student in philosophy, and I don't call myself a philosopher because it still sounds presumptuous. So already, like I said, red flag. Title also a red flag. Strong, independent wayman. Um, that's such a weird way to spell woman. I guess that's supposed to be an insulting way to spell it. I don't know. Just kind of dumb. Strong, independent woman has mental breakdown from 4K work week. So this guy is also calling himself the realist here. Again, people call themselves realists. Red flag. People are like, oh yeah, I'm in touch with reality, brother. You're probably not. You're probably the least in touch with reality if you think you're the most in touch with reality. So yeah, already we got multiple red flags. The video hasn't even started yet. So let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so we got this goofy broad here that I came across on.
Okay, goofy broad. Is this guy from New York or something? Goofy broad over here. Oh my god, I can't do accents very well, but such a weird way to open up a video. Goofy broad. We got a goofy broad over here. I don't know.
On TikTok, and she's moaning and groaning and complaining that she's got to, have a job and work to support herself, even though she lives alone. And of course, there is an alternative. It's called getting a husband, and then he goes to work, and then, you stay home and take care of the babies. But unfortunately, since you ladies demanded that you go into the workforce, and since feminism has told women that that's highly preferable to being a stay-at-home mom, because being a stay-at-home mom is the equal of being a slave, and it's oppression, and it's evil. So don't do that.
Okay, so like right off the bat here, obviously slandering feminism needlessly. I mean, what do you expect from men going their other way? Men going their own way. I think that's the full. I think MGTOW is the acronym for that. I don't know why I said I think. I know that. So he's already like, yeah, feminism says women can never be stay-at-home moms. When it's like, dude, that's not what feminism means. I mean, yes, feminism reacted against patriarchal family structures, as it should have, because women didn't have, women were property of their husbands. Women didn't have the right to go off on their own. Women often didn't have the right to divorce. They didn't have the right to have a career. They didn't have the right to vote. So like, right, women haven't had it easy, particularly in their marital relationships. So it's obvious why the early feminists would have attacked that and gone after that and tried to change that, which to a large extent they have. But like, if a woman wants to be a stay-at-home mom and it's like a healthy relationship, right? She's not being coerced. She's not being forced. Her husband, is supportive, understanding, a generally decent guy, right? I think most feminists would be like, oh, I mean, that's fine. Like, it's your choice. Like, women should have choice over their own lives, right? Like, women shouldn't be told what to do by a man. So that's not like saying women can never be housewives. Many women don't want to be housewives, though, but that's also fine, right? Like, both are fine as long as people are, you know, aren't being coerced, as long as people aren't, being told what to do. Sorry, I'm repeating myself here, but yeah, that's what feminism is about. This is just a damn straw man.
Man is taking advantage of you. You're being oppressed. Meanwhile, you go to work every day, and some nameless, famous, faceless corporation, turns you into tax chattel. But that's not oppression.
Oh, nice. I like how he's like, oh yeah, well, you won't be a housewife for a man, but you're working for a corporation, me, bruh. That's my response, bruh. Look, I mean, there's like, I think there's room. I mean, this guy's not in leftist spaces, but like leftist spaces and leftist groups and people like definitely like have debates about like, is wage labor coercive? Should we try to move past wage labor? Right? Should try, and if we have to have wage labor, or given that wage labor will probably not go anywhere, at least for the foreseeable future. Okay, then we try to give people living wages, right? We try to make sure our unions are strong, so worker rights aren't violated. Excuse me. Right, all that's fine. But it's like, it's a stupid analogy. It's not like, oh, either work for a corporation or be a housewife. It's like, you don't have to do either. And also, like, we should try to create a society where I think work is less coercive and less draining on people. I don't know. This is going to be a pain in the what, but I think it'll be funny.
Anyway, she's still very young. She looks extremely young to me. She looks like she's like maybe 18, 19. She's probably older than that, but she looks like a kid. She could be my kid.
I hope this man, he probably won't see this video, but I would say this to his face, even if he, I hope he doesn't have children. I hope he doesn't have a daughter. Like, I hope he doesn't currently have a daughter, and I hope he never has a daughter. Because if he does, she's gonna need like major therapy. She's gonna rack up that therapy bill. That therapist is gonna know her on a first name basis, just going in every week, maybe even a couple times a week. She's not gonna have it easy if your father is this kind of person. So yeah, that's just a thought. Ads. I miss the days when YouTube didn't have ads.
Hey. Although, when I think about it, she could be 30 and she could be my kid.
Also, if this guy's getting money from this, that's despicable. Does this guy have a job? Does he have a real job? I hope so. If this is his job, that's sad that he's making money trashing women like this. I don't know. I've never seen this channel before in my life. I don't know. But if there's ads in his videos, probably making some greenbacks.
I'm getting old, man. But anyway,
you said it, not me.
Yeah,
Not that getting old is really an insult. Anyway,
let's hear what ridiculousness comes out of her mouth, shall we? It should be entertaining at the very least.
Hey, that's my perspective on watching your video. Gee, we think so much alike.
So maybe someone here on TikTok can answer this question for me because I cannot figure it out and I am so frustrated. Why is it that I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live?
See, and that's a legitimate question. Why do people have to work such long, arduous hours just to survive? Like that again. I think that's a perfectly sensible question, and it's one that crosses many people's minds. Um, which is why we should be fighting for things like living wages, like social safety net, like a social safety net, um, or maybe universal basic income, um, with still with universal basic income plus still a robust social safety net. Um, Cutting the work week, have a 4-day work week instead of a 5-day work week. Like all those are uh, topics and issues worth debating, I think. Um, but I'm sure he's gonna have the dumbest takeaway from that possible. So we'll see.
I'll explain it to you, and I'll answer a question because it's instructive, it's educational, it's important, and hopefully she'll see this because I'm going to send her a link.
I'm so sorry. I don't know the TikToker who made this video, but if he sent you his video, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish you hadn't been subjected to that. Yep.
Number one, women decided to enter the workforce. So the majority of women go into the workforce, they don't stay home, so you double the amount of workers. In fact, there's more women working now than men. You double the amount of workers, you cut the wages in half. I just answer your questions.
Yep. So you know what you need to do, ladies? Stop working, then men can earn more. Bam. I solved all our problems. Oh my god. No, bro. Like people should be allowed to work and have careers, or just a part-time job, or if they're bored, I don't know. Not generally why people get jobs unless you're already come from money, but still, people should be allowed to work, or not at their leisure. You know what I mean? Like people should have that choice, have that liberty. Um, why should you tell them what to do? Um,
I just answered one of your most important questions right there. That's the main contributor. That's number one. Number two, thank you, inflation. Because inflation drives up the cost of goods and services well before it drives up wages. Hence, wages are consistently lagging behind the inflationary cost of goods and services as it relates to goods and services. So that's number two.
and it's not like, oh, we could adjust our wages for inflation. That's insane, Audrey. We can't do that. Oh my god, are you in La La Land? Did you hit your head this morning? We can't adjust wages for inflation. We can, and we should.
Number three, you're bringing in all these illegal aliens from south of the border, north of the border, east or west, and they're flying into Mexico from China and Korea and everywhere else and coming across the southern border, and they got to live somewhere, don't you know? So
Okay, yep. Gotta throw in that xenophobia. Gotta throw in it's those immigrants, man. It's those illegal immigrants. They're taking our jobs. They're taking our fucking jobs, man. Oh, I tried not to swear on the internet. Whoops. Ignore that. I did not. I did not just say the f. I did not just drop an f bomb. I'm a good Christian gal. I don't swear. Um, Yeah, but man, it's those illegals, man. Like, um, yep, we've heard this before. We've heard this before. It's not like one of the or one of the leading presidential candidates right now. Um, it's not like he kicked off his presidential uh, campaign in 2016 with saying, Mexican immigrants are rapists and we should build a wall to prevent the Mexican rapists from coming across the border. And Mexico's going to pay for that wall. This is the society we live in. I mean, the U.S. also has a long history of xenophobia. There used to be, there's still prejudice against Asians. That has a long history. Prejudice against Irish Catholics. There's been even though this is a country of immigrants, which makes it even more hilarious and insane, we have a long history of hating immigrants in this country. So just another person who's fallen for that propaganda.
Less housing available, higher demand, less housing thanks to big government regulations and rent control and all that garbage drives up.
True. The illegal immigrants are stealing our housing, brother. Oh my god. Ugh. This is going to be painful.
The cost of housing. So there's some reasons right there, sweetheart. And another reason is because education is and they don't teach anything, so you don't learn any valuable skills. You have no real human capital, so you go into the workforce out of high school, even out of college, and you have no skills, you have no abilities, and since you never had a job and you're 22 years old, you got a college degree, but you have no work experience, you have no human capital, and hence you can't make very much money, so you're left flipping burgers at McDonald's or working at Starbucks as a barista, make a minimum wage. So I think I answered your question for the most part. Continue.
A couple things. I think a professor of mine in college said this once, but he didn't understand. He was telling me he didn't understand why burger flipper was like such an insult. Because he was like, "Oh, I'm pretty happy with people who give me my hamburgers," right? So first off, like, there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with being a Starbucks barista. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure those jobs aren't often pleasant. I've never experienced them myself. But there's nothing wrong with them. And I don't, resent or dislike anyone for doing those things, particularly if they need to do so to pay the bills. And then the other thing, of course, this guy has to throw in. He just has to throw in all the conservative talking points one after the other. I can't. Sometimes I can snap, sometimes I can't. He has to throw in all the conservative talking points, and of course, hating on college. College doesn't teach you anything. You have no marketable skills. Blah 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 blah. Wrong again. College does give you marketable skills, just sometimes you have to be a bit more creative. Now, there are some majors that are more tailor-made to certain careers. So if you get, I don't know, a nursing degree that has real-world impact and it prepares you for a job. If you get a psychology degree, you can go on to become like a psychotherapist. Many philosophy majors go off to law school. Like, some, majors may have to get a bit more creative with like the type of career you go into going forward, and you might not get the most paying job right out of the gate. You almost certainly won't, but no, college teaches you all kinds of marketable skills. Critical thinking is a marketable skill. Being a good reader, being a good writer. Obviously, if you can, if you're good at like math or good at science, those can be marketable skills. It teaches you to stick, to start something and stick with it. One aspect of having a college degree on the resume is that it does tell a potential job, like, oh, this person stuck with all this college work for 4 years, so that tells you the person's somewhat dependable. So there's all kinds of reasons to it's all kinds of skills that a college degree teaches you, both in and outside the classroom.
40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month.
Where the heck are you working, honey? Oh my God, I think she might actually be working at a Mickey D's.
And my rent is $1,660. So
she pays more rent than I do. For a 2-bedroom apartment? You live alone? Why are you renting a 2-bedroom apartment when you live alone? I don't get this. Can't you rent a studio apartment? I wanted to rent a studio, but there were no studios available. Well, everybody had snatched them suckers up. I'm in a 1-bedroom. And that's still too much room for me.
Work 40 hours a week so I can have a 2-bedroom apartment. And
who's sleeping in the other bedroom? Why don't you rent the other bedroom out, huh? No, I want to live alone. That costs money.
You can like stay out of her business. Like surely she had a reason for getting into it. A 2-bedroom. Maybe she has an office. Maybe she has to work from home some of the time, and she has a home office or needs a home office. Or there could be all kinds of other reasons why she has an extra bedroom. So I don't know why he's judging her for that.
and an extra $300 a month. Like, it doesn't cover my phone, internet, food.
Well, then how are you surviving? I mean, I don't see you sitting on a park bench making this video. You're not homeless. If you can't cover that stuff, where's the money coming from? Oh, I bet I can guess where it's coming from. Mommy and Daddy! Yeah, we can blame them for your entitled attitude until complete lack of understanding of how reality works, let alone...
Yep. Okay, there we go again. Another conservative talking point. We're just checking them off one by one by one. All right, so yeah, young people, they just rely on their parents these days. They don't know how to work hard. Mommy and daddy pay for everything. Shut the up, dude. Like, life is harder for people, for the younger generations, of which I am a part. I mean, this guy himself already mentioned inflation. But you could be, relatively self-sufficient on a great deal less money when, the boomers were coming of age than you can now. The cost of living is just gone up and up and up. Social services, many of them are being stripped away. Many young people don't have a sense of community. Workers' rights. In recent, I think, in a last year or so, I actually think unions have been gaining a greater influence than they've had in this country for a while, but it's not nearly enough. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that, make people's lives so much harder. It's not a great... Public transport isn't good in this country, so you need a car usually, unless you live very close to work and the grocery store, or you can get rides everywhere or are willing to walk long distances. Life just gets more and more complicated as the decades go on. And so it's very idle for the older generations to wag their finger about how millennials and Gen Z just are lazy and they don't try. I see no statistical evidence for that. I I mean, I think many, younger people are less invested in the grind set, less invested in pouring their heart and soul into a career than some of the older generations were. But that's not laziness or entitlement. That's learning how to live. I would say that's learning how to be a human being. So, food for thought.
On economics, but continue.
No. So not only do I not have any extra money, but just working makes me so exhausted that I don't have time either.
More ads. More ads. Ugh. It's like I'm watching cable TV. That's what YouTube's become now.
It's your future.
Another ad. That's another good point, though. How draining work can be. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. I'll try to touch on it again after the next clip. But no, I think she's totally right. Work is draining for so many of us out there, and finding that work-life balance and finding ways of making work less draining, I think, is obviously a good thing. I don't even know why anyone would even question that. But he'll find a way, I'm sure. That this individual will find a way.
I get off work at 5:30. Come home.
By this individual, I mean the man, not her. I've agreed with everything this TikToker has said. I don't have any quarrels with her yet whatsoever. All my quarrels are with this. I keep wanting to insult him, but again, I have some sense of not wanting to say certain things on the internet. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like to swear and be super angry and insulting on the internet. Maybe this video will bring it out of me. That's very much a side point. Anyway.
I'm just so tired. I'm so tired.
Invalidating her emotions. Yep, that's good. It's always a good thing to invalidate people's emotions.
Tired that
it also shows this is a very mature man. This man, he respects people. He has empathy. He is willing to try to see things from other people's perspective. A real saint over here.
Anything that I need to do outside of work, I then just push off to the weekends, and I'm like,
isn't that everybody? You wash your clothes on the weekend, you do your food shopping on the weekend. Welcome to the real world.
I'm just too tired to do this after work. I'll wait until Saturday. So then I end up with so much to do on the weekend that ends up having to be split into 2 days. So I have to do stuff on both Saturday and Sunday. So then I don't get a day off. I don't get a day to relax. I don't get to decompress.
Yeah, I mean, again, this seems reasonable to me, right? I mean, I guess I can just speak for myself here, but being an adult is hard, it can be difficult to as I think I mentioned this earlier, but finding that work-life balance, if it exists. I'm never so sure. But it can be difficult to find that work-life balance. It can be difficult to get all your chores done. Make sure you go to the doctor and the dentist on a regular basis. Make sure you file your taxes on time. Make sure, I got to go to the grocery store. Got to do laundry. Being an adult is challenging. And it's particularly when you're first starting out. I just became, in my first couple of years of adulthood, I was still pretty dependent on my family and other people. This is the first year when I'm not entirely independent. Nobody is really. The self-made man is an illusion, but excuse me. This is the first year that I'm like pretty much as independent as I've ever been. And it's scary, it's overwhelming, it's anxiety provoking. Like, I understand all those feelings. But well, there's no but about it. I mean, I understand all those feelings, and your experience is valid. If you, dear TikToker, find this video,
So it is really like working 7 days a week.
Translation, my mom and daddy never made me do chores, never made me get a job, so I went to school 5 days a week, and I pretty much frittered away my time and didn't learn anything or apply myself there, and now I think I should just have free time. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. This man he's listening to her points. He's making sure he's, rephrasing them correctly. Or he's making sure that he's giving her. He's making sure not to strawman her and not to undermine her experience or her emotions, and just making sure he's treating her, as one human being should to another, and not as just like, fodder for his YouTube channel and fodder for feeling superior to somebody else. He would never. Yeah, why are you insulting her, man? Like, grow up. How old are you? You look like, I'm gonna say 50 something. Grow up. Why are you insulting, a young adult on the internet? Why? What gain do you have? Is this your higher self? Like, no, it's not. You're being petty. You're being a child. This video is a waste of everyone's time. It's harmful. It's damaging. Don't assume. You don't know this person. You don't assume like, oh, she didn't apply herself in school, or oh, she fretted away her weekend. She didn't learn anything. Oh, her parents never made her get a job. Her parents never taught her responsibility. Like, don't assume these things. You don't know her. Again, this is a stranger you saw on TikTok that you're berating because you're insecure and have been swallowed up by like one of the most toxic, like, ideologies of our time, and swallowed by the victimhood, and of course that's what is so disgusting about like the MGTOW movement and 98% of the men's rights movement. It's like it's victimhood. It's men not willing to accept that the world is changing, not willing to accept that the old way of doing things isn't how it's always going to be, and so they have to bring other people down. They have to bully people, humiliate people. That's a hard word to say. In order to fill in order to distract them from their own insecurity.
Constantly. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? Like, I don't care how poor and miserable I would have to be, but I literally can't have a place to live.
I remember, sorry, another point. This is gonna be a long video. This guy was like, oh, she just expects free time. And my response to that is like, yeah. Like, life isn't about working all the time, right? Like, I know people will say, oh, well, your value is your economic value. Your value is the amount of capital that you're producing. It's the value that you're giving to your boss. It's the value that you're giving to your country, your state, your community, in your job. Like, I mean, you can say that's one kind of value, but that's not the only value. There's value in free time. There's value in leisure. There's value in hobbies. There's value in doing all kinds of other things, creating art. Like artists have always struggled. I think many of the Impressionists, I mean, they were dirt poor. I think they lived like together in their poverty. But like, art doesn't often have that economic value, but it's immensely important. Literature is important. Music's important. There's all kinds of things that are important. Like I said, I'm a graduate student in philosophy. Philosophy doesn't have a great deal of economic value, but it's still incredibly valuable to many people, myself included. So, like, there's nothing wrong with wanting free time. There's nothing wrong with wanting free time. People should strive to have free time because people should be able to take charge of their own lives. People should be able to do stuff that they want to do, the stuff that brings them joy and happiness and fulfillment and meaning. Whatever those terms look like for you. Again, like, why are we telling people what to do? And why are we trying to constrain people and trying to put people in boxes and minimize them and minimize their potential by seeing the lens narrowly through economic concepts? Makes no sense to me.
Without this,
You mean a job, like everyone?
I don't know what to do. I'm not made for this. I don't have the money, time, or energy to enjoy my life outside
Why do I get the feeling this bruh may open a OF account?
of work, and I don't know.
Why did he feel the need to say that? Why? Again, this is going to be painful.
What to do about it anymore,
Also, just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with someone starting an OnlyFans. There's nothing wrong with sex work. I'm pro sex work. I'm for the legalization of sex work. Or if you want to sell feet pics or on OnlyFans or whatever, that's fine. I have no, moral or ethical or ideological qualms with that. It's your business. Obviously, if you want to go into certain careers, you probably shouldn't have that kind of material of you out there. And if it's feet pics, no one's going to be able to tell you from that. But if it's something else, so there's prudential reasons. I don't know if that's a word. There's reason to be prudent about making that kind of putting that kind of material out there if you want to go into certain careers. But there's nothing wrong with sex work or having an OnlyFans or anything. Again, this man's just trying to demean her and be a creep. Earlier, he was already like, she looks like 18, 19. The way he said it just gave me the chills, it's very creepy sounding. And then throwing that comment in there, it's like, ugh, this man. Ugh, if I had a daughter, I would not want her near him. Let's just put it like that.
Could get another job. Joking aside.
Just get another job, bro. Yeah, just work 80 hours a week, bro. Just work harder. Earn more money. It's that simple. God, I hate that. That's like the people that are like, oh yeah, it's like the people who say to a depressed person, just don't be depressed, be happy, you know? Have you tried just not feeling this way? Ugh.
Though, yeah, not everybody's built for it, and you're a woman, so you have a fallback. Find yourself a man.
Oh, jeez. Oh my God. Women aren't like, no. What? Oh my God. Women, I guess he's trying to imply women aren't built for careers. I mean, at one level, no one's built for a career in the sense that we're not born to have careers. We're born to live. Having a career is just one aspect of living. If someone's interested in a career, which again is not everybody, some people are content with having a job or a series of jobs and then doing everything they enjoy in their free time. I guess I'll let him say a little bit more, but I think I know where he's going with this. And
Man, you're reasonably good looking. I've seen some her other videos.
this man's a creep. This man's a creep. I just want to reiterate that. This is creepy.
She cleans up real nice. Here she's
Being creepy again. Please stop talking about her looks.
been crying and all, no makeup. We know women don't look great when they've been crying for a couple hours like this broad has. So
Yep. Focus on a woman's looks. That's all a woman is her looks. Jesus Christ.
she's not a bad looking chick. She looks thin.
Stop being creepy. Stop being creepy.
She could find herself a man, but
Oh, and thin. Yep. Gotta bring that in. If you're slightly if you're a woman that has a little more a few more pounds on her, we look down upon you. There's something wrong with you. Yep. That's another aspect. If you're a woman, you gotta be skinny. You gotta be super thin, or you're not valuable or lovable. That's like the terrible thing about being a woman. Like, I know. I mean, I'm being a trans woman. I cannot speak for a cis woman's experience. Like, it's just not something I'll ever know. But I am a woman, and I realized after I came out that I started to internalize these ideas that like I need male approval, and like I started thinking more about, okay, how do men perceive me? What do men think of me? How can I get a man's attention? Now that part of that's just my own, part of that's some of my own issues that I'm working through, but like a big part of it, I think, is if you're a woman, you're basically trained from an early age to like view yourself through a man's lens and like to seek male approval and to feel guilty and to feel bad about yourself when you don't have that male approval, it's so toxic, man. It's so toxic, and it's not necessary. Like, a woman doesn't need a man's approval. You really don't, like, nobody needs anybody's approval, really. But anyway.
No. The effing sister had told her that she's got to have a job and work herself to death. Great. Lovely. Okay, so here's the same chick who was sold a false bill of goods and was told that, she could have it all, have her cake and eat it too, and now she's very unhappy that she has to work and make a living. Not rely on a man. And notice, of course, that possibility never occurred to her. No. And her questioning what she could do to remedy the situation. No. Relying on a man, that never even came up. So in this video, I think she's replying to the, comments in her last video that I just reviewed, which went viral. Let's see what her replies are to the replies.
My TikTok yesterday got way more attention than I ever thought it would. And I've been a little overwhelmed. But I'm going to go ahead and just answer some of the questions I've been getting. Well, firstly, I just want to say that I am so lucky to be in the situation that I'm in, even though things are hard and
I got a lot of criticism, basically.
I don't have enough money. I have a place to live, and that's better than I've been able to say for, other parts of my life. So I have an apartment to live in, and I'm very, very thankful. So most people wanted to know why I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment because I got this with my now ex-partner. Well,
See, I told you there was some reasonable, rational explanation. There's no reason to judge her, criticize her, whine about she should have a 1-bedroom. Well, she just explained why she now has a 2-bedroom. Let people live their lives, and stop judging people without knowing their life, their lived experience, and knowing why they are where they are at. If that was a fully completed sentence.
Why would there be 2 bedrooms if you had a partner, meaning i.e. boyfriend, and you'd be sleeping in 1 bedroom? So why would there need to be a 2nd bedroom?
And Peter.
Also, partners can sleep in different bedrooms, right? That's not weird. I mean, they can sleep in the same bedroom too. That's not weird either. But some people, they don't sleep well with other people, and so they might want their own space. And I mean, in partnerships and relationships, it's definitely good to have your own space. It's definitely good to have a little place you can be by yourself and decompress, at least for some people. Probably for most people. But it's not weird at all. This guy has such a outdated view of what relationships are. It's baffling to me. It's like seeing someone from another planet or an alien from another planet talk about their beliefs.
Just think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. That's definitely him.
Chad.
So we got this 2-bedroom apartment.
Hot loser.
So we could have a bedroom and I could have an office because I work from home. Oh.
I did it. Sorry. That was what I thought it was about. Oh my God. I am a genius. I'm waiting for my Nobel Prize and everything to be mailed. I don't know why I'm this pumped about being right about that. That's very, it's not really useful information. And it's not a hard guess, but I mean, that was what I assumed when she was like, oh yeah, I live in a 2-bedroom. Honestly, it would be nice if I lived in a 2-bedroom and I had an office space and a bedroom. My office space and my bedroom are one and the same. It would be nice to have them separated. Anyway, so I guessed correctly. Booyah, in your face. Hashtag Audra is brilliant. Hashtag Audra is brilliant.
What now?
You work from home?
Snap your W-2 and file your tax.
More ads. Do 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 do.
For me,
Do I should do the Jeopardy. Do do do. I might get commercial. I might get Oh shit. Damn it! I swear again. I keep swearing. I try not to swear on the internet. Like I said, well, I'm breaking my rules here. I don't even know if I'm going to post this video. I might not. This might just be a little fun thing I did just cause. But anyway.
I could have a bedroom and I could have an office because I work from home. Oh, now.
You work from home? What do you say? You get home at 5:30 though. Maybe she's talking about having worked from home. Maybe during COVID she worked from home, and maybe now things have changed. I don't know.
Now, as of last week, Peter and I are no longer together, and thank God that things ended amicably. My life would be destroyed if that wasn't the case.
I'm just curious, just to interject here. Wouldn't he have been on the lease? Can he just leave? I mean, you two rented the apartment together. Did he sucker you into being the only person to sign the lease? And then he just lived there?
People on a lease can leave. I mean, they might have to get. I guess this girl isn't like subleasing, but that's an option. I suppose she just took on all the responsibility for the rest of the rent. I mean, but yeah, there are ways for someone on a lease to break it. I think often, they lose their deposit, or maybe they have to pay some future months' rent that they would have paid if they hadn't broken the lease. But again, he's saying he sounds shocked at all these things that are just totally understandable if you think about them for like 2 seconds. Like, none of this is even like policy based. It's just commonsensical things about life. I take it this man doesn't get out of his mother's basement very often.
Did he pay rent, by the way? I guess he did. Otherwise, she wouldn't be moaning and groaning about the rent being too much for her to afford now. Okay, but wouldn't he have been on the lease as well? Can he just walk away? That's strange.
Like, that's where that video came from of rent here is $1,660 and I make $2,000. So,
by the way, why would you still don't need a 2-bedroom apartment. Anywhere in that apartment could have been your office. Okay, you could have set up in a freaking corner. All right, very unwise to get a 2-bedroom apartment when the two of you were sharing a bedroom. Okay, you should have done everything you could to minimize, not maximize your expenses. Dopey move.
There's nothing wrong with wanting like a home office. It's a perfectly understandable thing. Many people need that home office. I mean, I don't know what kind of work this girl does, but many people need that private space for work. Particularly, I think, if they work at like certain call centers or something. Like, there's a degree of like confidentiality when you work at a call center, or I'm struggling to come up with examples here, but there's all kinds of reasons why someone who's working from home might need that private space. They might not just be able to sit up in a corner, sit on a tiny uncomfortable chair in a corner in the living room and do their work. It's not how a lot of at-home jobs work.
But continue.
So, like,
this man he sounds like he has no life experience. Like, I haven't experienced most of these things I'm talking about, but I know about them because I know a thing or two about living life. I guess, I don't know. None of this is profound wisdom. This is just, he lacks such common sense. I don't know. It's baffling. I don't get it. I don't get how someone lacks this amount of common sense.
If I'd broken up with him and he decided to leave, like, I'd be screwed. I would.
Didn't he leave, though? Isn't he gone now? You're screwed now then, right? I don't get this. That's just clearly some stuff she's leaving out.
I was lucky enough to be able to take a mental health break. I took 2.5 weeks off of work to just exist in my own head and figure out what's going on. I have a pretty serious mental health disorder, and I am having a hard time finding a therapist that specializes in it.
I just want to say before this Yahoo jumps in that mental health days are fine. I know, like, again, like, back in the past when people's work was their life, the idea of a mental health day would have just been, otherworldly. It would have made no sense to the culture previously. But now we know better. Like, there's nothing wrong with a mental health day. There's nothing wrong with a mental health week. I mean, if you're able to afford it. Not everyone can afford to take a week and a half off of work for that time. But, we all have difficulties in our life. We all have struggles. Many people suffer from mental illnesses. And so it's perfectly understandable why someone would take a mental health day off. And I know this guy's going to trash that, say it's a bad decision, she's lazy, she's a baby, she's whiny. I don't know what he's going to say. Something to that effect. And it's like, no, dude, get your head out of your ass. I guess I've given up on my no swearing rule for this video. Get your head out of your ass and admit that, like, people have emotions, and people's emotions deserve to be processed and respected, and people's lived experiences deserve to be processed and respected. And I mean, one way to do that is for people to take mental health days. So, just saying. Again, everything this TikToker is saying, understand. I mean, I can't understand her lived experience. I'm not her, but I understand the point she's making, and you know, she hasn't said anything incorrect in my book.
And it's just been hard. I really needed the time off, and I am very thankful to both Peter and my family, people I have to support me. Thank you so much to...
Is Peter still paying his half of the rent? And if so, what's she complaining about the rent for? It's weird.
Everybody who left nice, supportive comments.
Oh,
Anyone else who is going through the same thing, please just know that you are not alone.
Mainly to hell with the people that left negative comments or told me things I didn't want to hear. I see. What mental health disorder could you possibly have? Probably like major depressive disorder or something.
Yep. Okay, another conservative talking point. He's hitting them one by one. He is just going through the laundry list. He's like, oh, gotta get that one. He doesn't want to forget anything. I would say good job if I had it in me to compliment this man, which I do not. Incidentally, I know I said I was criticizing him earlier for criticizing this TikToker, and then I was thinking to myself, well, I'm criticizing him criticizing this TikToker, so am I any better? And like, I mean, I don't think my criticism is really going to do much of anything, but like, I'm trying to... I think it's important sometimes. I mean, this guy's TFG. He's probably... not probably. He's TFG. He's too far gone, I'm sure. I am not interested in persuading him, but occasionally it can be helpful to engage with these really terrible ideas, really toxic ideologies, just so you can unpack them and just so you can recognize the talking points and recognize the best ways of combating them in the discourse. I mean, that can be emotionally draining, and people should never be obligated to do that. It's just something I don't mind doing on occasion. So yeah, and I'm not trying to like... I mean, I don't have anything... like, I don't know this man personally. And I think like hatred and stuff are like generally pretty personal emotions. I don't like hate him. I'm not trying to like make his life worse with this video. I'm just trying to break down his completely baseless and ridiculous talking points. In regards to mental health, yeah, of course, people have to deny mental health conditions exist. They have to deny, oh yeah, again, if you're depressed, just don't be depressed. If you're anxious, if you have social anxiety, don't be socially anxious, right? Like it can be hard for people who don't have certain mental health struggles to understand those mental health struggles. So I don't have bipolar disorder, for example. And I mean, I've interacted with people who have borderline. Did I say bipolar? I I don't know if I said bipolar or BPD. Sorry, ADHD moment. I don't have bipolar or BPD as far as I know, but that's beside the point. This video is not about me. I was just going to say, like, I can't talk about, I keep going back to like the lived experience, but like I can't comment on the lived experience of having bipolar disorder because I don't have bipolar disorder. And like in a similar way, it can be hard if someone doesn't have anxiety or depression or whatever to understand that. But people need to stop. People shouldn't minimize it. If they don't know what it's like to experience depression, they shouldn't berate somebody who knows what depression is like, and they shouldn't pretend that depression or anxiety don't exist. They shouldn't pretend that just because they never experienced something means it's impossible for people to experience, or it's not a big deal, or unless someone's experienced certain mental illnesses, you never quite know what it's like, and you never quite know how you would respond in that situation. And conservatives in this country don't want to fund like mental health services, and they think mental health services are part of the woke agenda and too liberal, and conservative spaces don't want people to be feeling their emotions. They don't want people to be trying to get in touch with their higher selves. They're trying to keep people small.
I'm depressed. Try getting married and having a kid. You won't have enough time to be depressed. Okay, so we have this.
Yep, that's true. Parents are never depressed, which is why all children are well-adjusted, and it's why postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis aren't things. They're just those are fake illnesses, bro. They don't exist. Parents have never been depressed. Parents have never used substances to, try to help with that depression, and that might have adversely affected their kid. Parents don't have time to have mental health issues. Has this guy ever been a parent? I mean, I haven't, but parents can be depressed just like anybody can pretty much be depressed. I mean, yes, if you're busy, you might be able to distract yourself more. That doesn't mean you're not depressed. It just means you're not allowing yourself to be in the moment and not allowing yourself to feel those feelings. But if you look at just the amount of intergenerational trauma out there in the world, there are a lot of depressed parents. There are a lot of anxious parents. There are a lot of parents with personality disorders. There are a lot of parents with mental health issues that they have not dealt with and that adversely affected other people. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Chick again, and she looks a little better. She hasn't been crying her eyes out for a couple hours. Okay. She maybe has some makeup on. She's got nice eyes. I think she's
creepy. Stop being creepy. Stop it. Stop it.
a natural blonde. Looks like she probably has a decent body.
Stop being creepy. Jesus Christ. A woman's value is not her body. Stop it. I don't know why I'm talking to him like he's a 3-year-old. Well, no, I know why. Because he has the maturity. Nope, sorry. That's an insult to 3-year-olds. 3-year-olds are more mature than this man. Yeah, anyway. Typical man. Again, viewing a woman's worth based on her appearance.
You could find a husband. Yeah.
Yep. Like again, like, well, a woman's worth finding a husband. She went to college for that MRS degree. Am I right, boys?
Find a husband. He could take care of you, and then you could have a kid, and then you wouldn't be depressed anymore. You could get rid of.
Having children doesn't make someone isn't a magical cure for depression. By the way, I don't know where he's getting this. I guess he's probably would be like, oh yeah, women are just biologically designed to be mothers, and so if when she marries and has a kid, she'll no longer be depressed because she's doing what God designed her to do. Like, come on. cut that nonsense out. And a woman doesn't have to be dependent on a man. Again, if someone wants to be in a relationship where other partner earns all the money, if a man wants to be entirely dependent on his wife, right? She earns all the bills and he's a stay-at-home dad or something like that. And that's fine if, as I said earlier, it's consenting and people aren't being coerced and people are generally in their right mind, things like that. But if that's the kind of relationship you want, well, okay, but no one should have to put themselves in that scenario where they are financially dependent like that. It's probably very difficult, particularly if you don't want to be in that scenario. So, yeah, just let women live the lives that they think are best for them. Is that hard? Apparently that's hard. Apparently that's the hardest thing in the world. I don't know why.
Rid of that mumbo jumbo mental health issues that you have. They go out the window. All right, let's get into this. She's responding now to the negative comments. This should be interesting.
So my TikTok about not being able to afford to live got very popular, and at this point, all of the comments are
you love it.
Like people being mean. Honestly, people like, oh, deal with it. Oh, you only have to work 40 hours a week. You don't even have it that bad. And
yeah, try working a 60-hour week, honey. Try owning your own business. Try working 100 hours a week. No. 40 is too much for me.
Like, people really just assuming like that I'm lazy and
recordings just got better.
Ugh. I keep wanting to do the Jeopardy theme when this happens, but
really amazed. I'm amazed.
By the way, what do you mean assuming? They don't have to assume.
Amazed, and I feel so bad for these.
I think I missed a part.
I'm amazed.
By the way, what do you mean?
People really just assuming like that I'm lazy, and I'm really amazed. I'm amazed.
By the way, what do you mean assuming?
Because people are assuming that she's lazy. These people commenting on her TikTok, they don't know her. I'd bet you $100 they don't know her. Nothing she said in these videos so far makes me think she's lazy. Not one thing. So it is an assumption. He's just asserting that his assumption is automatically true, because I guess he said it or something, and he's just a genius. Very high IQ. His IQ is 2 billion points.
They don't have to assume.
And I feel so bad for these people. Like, that's why I'm not taking it to heart. That's why it's not offensive to me whatsoever.
Maybe you should take it to heart.
Because
yes, take everything to heart. Take every mean thing someone says to you on the internet to heart. That's very good advice. Live your life by other people's standards, Don't make your own decisions. Don't decide for yourself what matters to you. Don't live the kind of life you want to lead. Live the life everybody else wants you to live. Again, why is this man? Ugh. I can't stand the people that, like, again, they feel like they're so brilliant they have to tell everybody else how to live their lives. Nobody should be in that position, right? This is why, like, in the Enlightenment, like, people were questioning the church's authority. They were questioning the authority of the king. They were so many, there's been hierarchical structures throughout human history that have been dismantled, or, some of their power was taken away because people began to realize, wait, no one else is really better than anybody else in this life. And so we should just kind of live and let live. Um, yeah, this is just, again, this is so basic to me that I don't see why this is hard for a lot of people.
All of these people have been raised or conditioned to believe that this isn't normal, that they should be working 70 hours a week, you know?
She's right. She's right.
And like, that's awful. I am
You work as many hours as you have to work to not live on the street.
so sorry to all of you.
And with the way prices are and the way the economy is and the way the job market is, people have to work their butts off just to not be homeless. It's not like, you know, doing the bare minimum gets you basically everything you need in life. It doesn't. Not anymore, anyway.
You who are working harder than I am and still not making it.
I think I figured out where her mental health problem might be. Holier than thou syndrome.
And I am so sorry that the way that you need to cope with that is to be mean to other people.
Oh, that's what it is.
Also, he's accusing her of being holier than thou. That is the pot calling the kettle black if I've ever heard it. Ever encountered that. Ugh.
If that's what you got to do to get through life, you do you. You know, like, if commenting mean things on young people's TikToks, if that makes you happy.
Well, you're immune to criticism because you're young, and we're criticizing you not because there's something to criticize, but because we have problems.
Wow, he just he roasted himself in his own video. If only that hadn't been sarcasm. But she's, you know, she's doing a good job responding to these people. And indirectly him, for me. So that makes my job easier. I agree with what she said.
And the rest of your life sucks, like, go for it, I guess. But just know that, like, I am truly, really sorry. I feel really bad for you that this is not only what's happening in your life, but, like, you think that you deserve it. And
yeah, she's just like, I could just be saying all these things about this guy's video. Like, this is gold. I don't even have to comment. Whatever she says, that's correct.
I just hope that there's a day where everyone just gets to be happy and doesn't have to shit all over everybody else, you know?
But you ain't happy. I find it very interesting. It's the end of the video, by the way. You're not happy. You're miserable. That's hilarious. Miserable human being. She's like 5 years old, and she's preaching to the rest of us how we ought to live our lives. That's so interesting.
Again, pot calling the kettle black. She's preaching about how people should live their lives, and here he is preaching about how people should live their lives. No self-awareness. No self-awareness. Head empty. No thoughts. Nothing behind those eyes.
Interesting. Cope much? So here,
I could say the same thing to you. Again, this video is just responding to itself at this point. This is like Copium 101. This is like you took that class in college, I assume, right? Most of you, Copium 101. This is the video they show you on the first day, you know, after they've gone over the syllabus. They, you know, get into a little bit of the material, and they show you this guy's video. And you break down in class all the ways he is coping, for the whole world to see.
here she is again, Miss Know-It-All. Who
Again, why do you have to be spending your time responding to all this girl's TikToks? Do you have a life? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have friends? Do you have hobbies? This is probably his sad and pathetic hobby. insulting people on the internet. Ugh.
Who had to take 3 weeks off of work to deal with her mental health issues. Yeah, you don't know what her issue is. She has no meaning in her life. That's her issue.
So
He keeps assuming things about her with no basis and no evidence. Very smart. Very smart.
today is my first day back to work after having.
Uh-oh, I see some tattoos. A dog paw tattoo on her left arm. Oh boy. And something else on her forearm. And another tattoo on her right arm. The red flags are coming.
And now he's judging people's tattoos now. What is this guy on? Like, what? Why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care? I keep saying this. I'm repeating myself ad nauseum here. Let people live their lives. I don't have any tattoos. I don't particularly care to get any. Am I telling other people not to get tattoos? Am I the be all end all of whether or not someone gets a tattoo? No. Should I be judging people harshly for if they have tattoos for whether or not they have tattoos? No, that tells me very little about the person, except that they probably like tattoos.
Like 3 weeks off, maybe 2.5 off.
She's got a horrible job where she gets to take 2.5, 3 weeks off on a whim. Wow. She's only making $2,000 a month. What are you doing? What grand? What job that only pays $2,000 a month allows you to take that much time off, where you can accrue that much vacation time? Maybe it was sick leave that she had accrued. I don't know.
Oh shoot!
At Mint Mobile, we're all
The border, east or west.
You know, like everything is just really up in the air.
Where
What's going on in my
You can accrue that much
there we go.
Vacation time. Maybe it was sick leave that she had accrued. I don't know.
I had a mental breakdown
Oh.
and just took some time for myself to just kind of figure out what's going on in my head. And now I gotta go back. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna get fired. Everything is just really up in the air right now, and I am laughing because if I don't, I will cry.
Either laugh about life or you cry about it. Or put more eloquently, that Horace Walpole quote: "Life is a tragedy to those who think, and life is a comedy to those who think, and tragedy to those who feel." Not saying she doesn't think, just free associating. Mental breakdowns are hard, and it can be hard to get back up again after someone's experienced that. Again, I don't think she'll see this video, but I mean, I wish you all the best. I don't know you, but from your videos, it sounds like you're trying. It sounds like you're trying, and you have a lot on your plate, and that makes it hard. So keep going.
So
Isn't this the same person that was telling us how to live our lives? She was just telling us in that earlier video, we need to live our lives. And then we're not living our lives right, and she feels sorry for us.
Again, this guy's telling other people to live. Where's this? Go to therapy, journal, find some way to gain a modicum of self-awareness. Monicum? Gain a tiny, tiny bit, a sliver, a microscopic piece of self-awareness. It will improve your life significantly. Trust me. I'm a doctor. My God. My God.
I had a mental breakdown, but I'm going to tell other people how to live.
I'm a MGTOW loser who's going to tell women that they need a man to support them. And I'm going to tell them how to live. People should listen to me.
Okay. So, this is the last video of this chick I'm going to review. Of course, she's crying again, and she's having another breakdown. Isn't this the same idiot that was telling us how to live our lives? She feels sorry for us. And how dare you criticize a young person, and you're getting...
How dare anyone, any imperfect person, how dare they offer an opinion? How dare they? You have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. If you want to offer opinions, you have to be perfect. I bet this guy's perfect. This guy's definitely never done anything wrong in his life, never made mistakes, never had mental health struggles. I mean, he's definitely does not sound like he understands mental illness at all. So I doubt he's had. Well, I don't know. Who knows what his life's been like? But it also sounds very not also. It sounds very sheltered and privileged and cold and sad and yeah. This man needs to get out of his bubble.
Kicks out of it, and you're just doing it because you're unhappy and unfulfilled in your own life. And I'm just saying that because I'm coping. Because if I don't say that and the hamster wheel doesn't spin out of control, I might have to accept the fact that some of you might have had some justified criticisms of me. But oh, no. I got to cope. I can't accept that. So your criticisms, they're not really valid in any way. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to listen to you? You're a mess. All right, let's get into it.
I have spent all fucking morning looking for a therapist, and I'm so tired.
Again, what she says is perfectly understandable. Finding a therapist that fits is difficult, or finding a therapist that takes your insurance is difficult. Finding a therapist that specializes in what you're looking for is difficult. So all of what she's saying has been experienced by many people. She's not alone.
I don't know how I'm supposed to find someone who's qualified for
what I'm worried I have. Yeah, you may not be able to live in the real world because your parents didn't prepare you.
I'm worried I have. And, like, when I do call someone, I have to tell them that I think I have this problem. Otherwise, like, they're not going to be prepared for it. And then when I say that I think I have this problem, no one's going to believe me because it sounds fucking crazy.
What are you seeing, ghosts? You hearing ghosts? You hearing voices from ghosts? You're being attacked by demons? What's crazy about it?
Yep. Continuing. I just come up with words on the daily. I'm pretty cool and quirky like that. Again, invalidating, dismissing, delegitimizing mental health. It can be scary talking to a therapist for the first time. It can be scary opening up to someone, a professional, or family and friends about difficult emotions you're having, or difficult symptoms you're having. Again, everything she says is understandable. He has these mental blocks that are preventing him from being like an empathetic human being. I keep going or sighing or just like at some point I just get exasperated and I can't do anything but make disgruntled noises.
Is this a real legitimate mental health problem you're having, or is it something along the lines of voodoo? What are we talking about here?
And I need to find someone I can see in person because, like, they can't see it happening over telehealth. I don't know what to do. I feel like I have to do this alone.
Do what? You haven't told us what the problem is. It's probably something goofy. It's probably something that has to do with the supernatural, the paranormal, or some weirdo stuff like that. That's enough. I can't take no more. Okay. Your problem is that your parents were too soft on you. They didn't make you do chores. They didn't offer you an allowance in exchange for doing chores. They were some of these, hippy-dippy type liberal parents who thought that...
All right, we're almost at an hour and a half here. I'm gonna give up. I've gotten through the majority of it. I don't think this. I hope this video wouldn't qualify as a copyright strike on YouTube. I don't actually know what the policy is regarding fair use and like reaction videos and whatnot. I'm hoping this video qualifies since I'm trying to respond to what he's saying at great length. Because I do love hearing my own voice. But yeah, no, this is sad and toxic and harmful. Videos like this are harmful. They convince disgruntled young men that misogyny is okay, that women need to be staying at home, women shouldn't be in the workforce, women being in the workforce is a problem. Life was better in the good old days. Little Timmy, oh my God. The good old days. When the good old days were like, I don't know, segregation. So they romanticize the past. And they see, trends in society of attempting to become more tolerant, more open-minded, more trying to become more beneficial to the members of society, and it gets evil. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything to say to someone like that. Like I said, I'm not really here to convince people. But I hope that young woman is probably around my age. I'm hoping she's doing better now. I don't know her. I don't know her TikTok account. But love to her. How much? Because we're not alone in our mental health struggles. We're really not. We're not alone, and we're not alone in the fact that being an adult is hard, and we're not alone in the fact that there are going to be people out there that are going to try to tear you down and try to dismiss everything you've gone through because they have problems, because they're committed to certain ideological agendas. They're trying to fill a hole in their soul with some neat little belief system that's really just harmful to those who participate in it and harmful to just anyone who interacts with it. So yeah, that's about it. MGTOW bad, misogyny bad, working till you drop bad, discussing and accepting and supporting mental health good, feminism good, women good. That's like my short summary of this very long video. I hope you got something out of it. At least it was a little bit entertaining to see this buffoon try to make a coherent point and fail. Anyway, toodles.